I haven't done an update of my YouTube teaching portfolio in a long time, so I figured I might as well do it now because the market has been up and down. But the thing about it is, as you can see, I'm making forward momentum. Today, I sat on my ass at home doing my work at home. I've made $588 today, which, most people just say, oh, yeah, well, if you don't sell, then you don't capture the gains. The thing about it is, everything is really on its way forward and up. The thing about it is, right now, the tech sector has been very finicky. I won't say really volatile, but it's been finicky because of the fact that right now we have a silicon shortage. Right now, there are lots and lots of cars that do not have the chips, the CPUs and the electronic GPU chips that they need in order to be sold. So right now, there's a lot of trucks, there's a lot of cars that are sitting on the dealer manufacturer lots, and they can't even be sold. For example, the Mercedes S-Class W223 should have been on the floor by now. But the problem is Mercedes doesn't know when they're going to be able to fulfill the orders simply because they don't have the chips. Tesla, same thing. Right now, just about every single Tesla car is spoken for already because they're having manufacturing issues. Now, Tesla's been having manufacturing issues since back in November of 2019. And that's and I brought this up before, but one of the reasons why the Trump administration should be noted for its failures in recognizing the threat from COVID is because even I knew from paying attention that Tesla had to shut down its factories in China back in November 2019 because they had detected a quote unquote SARS-like virus. So ultimately, if America hadn't been playing fucking games with that, trade war stupid shit, the simple fact is we would have realized that something was happening and we would have been able to react to it faster. But we didn't. So now you have what, over 500,000 or something dead. I don't even know how many people have died at this point, but you know what? I'm not even going to bother looking up the number because at this point it really doesn't matter because at this point there's more and more vaccinations and we're moving towards trying to get ready to return to normalcy in the travel market and in the other markets. But what happened was we started seeing production decrease. So we are still suffering in the tech market from the decrease in production. Now, what I will say, as far as my top gainers, because basically the point of this video is I want to talk about the moves that you should be making. So let me just let you understand. First of all, moves that you should be making is number one, you need to make sure your credit is spotless. People who know me and follow me, I have an 850 credit score. Once you go past 750, it really doesn't matter anymore because you're excellent. And I only got there because I paid off my student loans and then I started attacking my mortgages and I paid off my car loans. And what I also did was I didn't create any new debt by going out and buying a new car, especially right now when all these car prices are overinflated. Because, like, you'll probably notice that used cars right now, in some cases, actually cost more than the damn new cars. The reason why is because the new cars carry slightly less risk because if you have a bad credit and they sell you a new car, they can always take that car back from you and repossess it and it'll have more equity in it than the old car will. Furthermore, right now, because of the loan structuring, in many cases, if you're buying a new car, you're probably leasing it. And if you're buying an old car, you're probably financing it, which means that you've got a 72-month loan instead of, say, like my mom's Cadillac, where she has a 48-month loan, which her Cadillac has to go back next year, the XT5, and she'll possibly get the electric Lyriq when she takes her car back. So the thing about it is the used car market is on fire right now. Anybody who's trying to get a car, chances are they're going to end up buying a used car that probably has low mileage simply because it was a certified pre-owned. But as you can see, like, my mind is all over the place because there's a whole lot of information to crunch. There's a lot of information. The housing market's fucked up. The used car market's fucked up. The new car market is what it is. It's not bad if you have good credit, but if you don't have good credit, you ain't buying shit. Get your Uber credits ready because you're going to be taking Uber a lot. My biggest movers, as you can see, my largest gainers are oil stocks. I tried to tell everybody, I tried to tell guys, hey, listen, everybody, get into the oil, get into the oil. Now, mind you, this is just one of my portfolios. My other portfolio is a lot larger. I've taken a lot more shares out. But see, this portfolio, I had started with $5,000 because I was trying to see what I could do by building up my shares, selling, and then buying different stocks. But in any event, oil, as you can see, SM, SLCA, those are two of my biggest movers. I don't think I'll ever sell SM because it's a dividend-paying stock at 11%. TTI and CPE are the only ones I'd consider selling. If I were to sell those tonight, I'd get what, like $1,300 off of them between these two. Oil is big, but oil is still not returned to glory. Airlines are kicking their business up. Cruise lines are still not moving. So the simple fact is, when the oil industry returns to glory, that is when I will make the biggest gains, and that's when I can consider selling. I don't think I'll be selling anything for maybe the next year or two. But as you can see, my largest gains in this portfolio are oil. And by the way, just because somebody might say, oh, yeah, well, you don't show your losses. Oh, I'll show you my losses. But I did calculation. My losses came out to about less than $1,500. Thing about it is my gains came out to over 10,000. So whatever. Market value. If I adjust for market value, Berkshire Hathaway B right here in this portfolio is 10 shares. And I bought this right around the time Warren Buffett and Munger gave their last what is it called? The thing where they sit down and they talk to the reporters, interview, whatever you want to call it, seminar, whatever you want to call it, whatever. Microsoft, as you can see, I bought it and I've gained $215 Microsoft. When I buy banks like Citibank, I'm not selling banks. The thing about it is all the banks and all of the big oil companies, they all pay dividends. So the thing about it is I'm never selling those. And if I ever do, it'll be like when I'm retired and I'm like sitting on a beach in the Philippines or sitting on a beach in Thailand and sipping on something, and I've got some chick next to me and we're sipping on something together and everything. So whatever. But the bottom line is I don't sell banks, I don't sell oil. I add to banks, I add to oil. And the thing about it is the dividends that you get off of those stocks are the best because they're the highest. If I adjust for dividends, you see that Sunoco is my largest hold. And this is only 30 shares right here because this shit is, you got to remember when you're buying stuff like this, because the way it comes down, the way it's been like, because of the quarantine, I found myself with a lot of extra cash at the end of every single month. Now, what most people did is they rushed out and bought a brand new car or something, and they put themselves in, debt for the next, 72 months, 74 months, or whatever. What I did was I used that extra money to pay off one of my mortgages completely, and the tenants are the ones responsible for my other mortgage for the most part. But that's almost paid off, and that's not personal debt, that's business debt. Just for you debt credit shamers and shit. But then again, I got an 850 score, so I ain't got much to, I don't have much to defend. But in any event, Sunoco is one of my largest dividend payers, and I will continue to add in to my oil stocks. And if I adjust back for market value again, with market value, Stellantis, I bought them FCA. I hold 100 shares in this portfolio. I have a total of 1,100 shares of Stellantis. I have a total of 1,100 shares with Ford. I have a total of 1,100 shares of GM. Because the thing about it is, when the March crash happened, I started spending money like a drunken sailor with a prostitute hanging onto his left testicle, and it's paid off because all of my portfolio is up. Again, because the American dollar is not going anywhere for a long time. However, your purchasing power is. So the only way, and this is the reason why I preach dividend paying stocks, and this is where I agree absolutely with Warren Buffett. The only way that you can protect the value of your money is to have an inflation hedge. There are some people who hedge using gold. There are some people who don't understand the fucking market at all, and they go into cryptocurrency, which I'll get to later. But the thing about it is, as you can see, when I'm attacking these dividend-paying stocks, they all, for the most part, pay more interest than the banks are paying right now if you put your money in the bank. So if I go into oil and the banks themselves as stock, for the most part, you're going to get more interest back than you would be getting from the banks. You'll get more capital gains in dividend paying stock. So people keep asking me, what are your dividend paying stocks? Well, I've made a list and I have it adjusted for dividend yield. And my list is Sunoco, AT&T, Exxon, Chevron, BP, Verizon, Gilead Sciences, ISBC, which is Investors Bank, Royal Dutch Shell B, Royal Dutch Shell A, Sanofi, which is, they make, what is that fucking shit? Hydroxychloroquine, Citigroup, AIG, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Walmart, Capital One, Sirius Entertainment, Microsoft, Wells Fargo, Nike, Logitech, Apple, Verizon, EA, MA is MasterCard, GE is General Electric, and NVIDIA I also hold. So as you can see in my portfolio, NVIDIA, for instance, is about to do a stock split, right? So what I did is, even though I already held NVIDIA, I decided to buy just a little bit more NVIDIA with some of the leftover money I had last month. So my NVIDIA holding right now is probably down. That's why it's a little low. So let's see. I bought NVIDIA because, okay, I bought 3 shares of NVIDIA. That came out to like $1,900. Right now I am down $26. In July, NVIDIA is going to do their stock split, and that 3 is going to be a 4-for-1 split. Just like the Apple split, just like the Tesla split, this is going 4-for-1. So that means this 3 is automatically going to turn into 12 because it's 3 times 4 equals 12. So at that point, in this portfolio, I will have 12 shares of NVIDIA. The chip shortage and these goddamn cryptocurrency scalpers, they are the problem. They are right now the reason why. See, look at this. You go to TechSpot. This is one of my daily news channels where I look at tech. Right now, it's very difficult to get these video cards. I showed you in the last video that I have, obviously, the 3090 FTW3. I bought it for $17.99. With tax, it was $19.55. And if I wanted to sell it right now, because these goddamn scalpers that are scalping PlayStation 5s, Xboxes, and video cards, I could easily sell that card for more than $2,000. So for me, I would gain some money. The problem is I'd have nothing to play my video games on. And if I sold my other cards, I would have nothing to mine my cryptocurrencies with. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand cryptocurrency. They jump into cryptocurrency, and they don't understand it. I was on a show where I was talking about the fact that I mine my cryptocurrency rather than buying it. Stellar Lumens can't be mined, but what you can do is you can mine Bitcoin or you can mine Ethereum, and then you can purchase Stellar Lumens by, once you mine it, you convert it from one crypto to the other. And conversion is very, very simple. Coinbase, for those of you who use Coinbase, they allow you to go from one to the next. Now, they do not support Dogecoin, and they do not support SafeMoon. However, what I might do is I might make a video about how to get SafeMoon, but the problem is you have to convert it from one to the next. Now, first of all, my problem with cryptocurrency, and I've maintained my position, this shit is a fucking Ponzi scheme. I don't care what anybody says. I understand that there's people who have benefited from this Ponzi scheme and who've paid off their student loans. I understand that there's people who've made millions of dollars off of this Ponzi scheme. Crypto is a Ponzi scheme. I want you to understand something. The majority of people who are buying this shit, they don't even look into the company's background. SafeMoon's entire point of being is that they claim that they're financing a safe trip to the moon. How fucking stupid do you have to be to even think for... you know what I want you to do? This is what I want you to do. I want you to watch the movie Apollo 13. It takes about 3.5 days to get to the moon. The moon is about 250,000 miles away. And I think it goes up to about 350,000 miles away when it's between its apogee and its perigee. That's the closest distance to the Earth and the furthest. First of all, I'm getting too scientific for you idiots. Who the fuck thinks that NASA is going to ever allow you to have a trip to the fucking moon in your lifetime? If you try to come up with a reasonable answer to that, then there's something wrong with you. You're not going to no goddamn moon. It's not happening. Your diamond hands, your paper hands, it doesn't matter. Now, I want you to also notice the dip that keeps on dipping. The only reason why Bitcoin ever got to $60,000 was because you had Tesla and you had other institutional investors pour money into it, which enticed all of these welfare check recipients from the Trump administration and then the Biden administration to be able to take their welfare checks and gamble it on cryptocurrency. That's the only reason why that shit ever got to 60,000. Bitcoin being the highest in valued cryptocurrency, right? Right now, all of that's fallen apart. There is no regular investment coming into these things. After what happened, Elon Musk right now is underwater at Tesla with his Bitcoin purchase. So there's a lot of other institutional investors who absolutely say, no, we're not fucking buying that shit. In fact, Elon Musk is supposedly meeting with some people about trying to make it so he can mine Bitcoin using environmentally friendly methods. So you're talking like solar panels and you're talking windmills and all that shit. Here's the problem though. Renewable energy is more expensive than fossil fuels. That's the reason why right now China is able to mine so much cryptocurrency, because goddamn it, if you go to China right now, they're still breathing air filled with fucking coal because they're still burning coal for energy. Now, someday China may go 100% nuclear in order to save their people, but right now they're giving most of their people cancer, for one, and they're also giving them birth defects by pumping all of that lead and shit into not only the air, but the water. When I lived in China, you couldn't drink the water out the faucet. You couldn't. Here, I can drink the water out the faucet because I don't live in Flint, Michigan. But cryptocurrency, as you know, is still down. And it's funny, because I had actually considered purchasing more Ripple by exchanging some of my mined Bitcoin into Ripple on Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet allows you to purchase XRP. It doesn't yet allow you to purchase SafeMoon, but sooner or later they'll get there. See, you know, the thing about it is Coinbase fucked themselves by complying immediately with the SEC, and I guess they had no choice because it was an American company and they didn't want any problems listing themselves on the NASDAQ. But had Coinbase allowed you to continue to trade XRP and Coinbase allowed you to trade Dogecoin, Coinbase their IPO wouldn't have ended up being a disaster. And I will admit, I was drawn into the Coinbase IPO based on the hype, but then I realized, and I pulled out, I realized that what they were doing was they had shares within the company and they disallowed you to buy in when the shit was $250 because that's where it started. And the problem is a lot of people who bought Coinbase, they're down more than 30% right now. Now, what I did was when I realized that this shit was basically a pump and dump, what I did was I pulled my money out and I put some of it into Microsoft and I put some of it into Apple and I put some into Berkshire Hathaway. Because I like to try to diversify every single trade I make. But I'm really disappointed in Coinbase, and me personally, I don't see myself taking any more risks on cryptocurrency that I don't myself mine. I think it's a waste of money. I think it's a fucking Ponzi scheme. Now, the rest of you, y'all think that the shit's going to the moon and everything. When your fucking spaceship explodes and you're forced to make that return trip to Earth, just like those brave astronauts on Apollo 13, that's when you'll understand you ain't going to no goddamn moon. It's not happening. It's not happening. So anyway, Ethereum still can't see its highs. It was what, $4,000 because of the pumping. I don't know if these things will ever go back to 60,000 and 4,000. Ethereum, most people are saying it's undervalued because you got to remember, Ethereum is heavily being mined right now. Ethereum right now is easier to mine than Bitcoin because Bitcoin has reached a point where you have to use very, very powerful ASIC computers in order to mine it. Ethereum can still be mined using GPUs like my NVIDIA FTW3 3090s. So the thing about it is, Litecoin saw some highs. I think it was like $300 and something. I never imagined it would get that high. A lot of my family members own Ethereum and Bitcoin and Litecoin, but they own it back from the cheap days. And they're just holding on and they're waiting to see where it goes. Me personally, I'm putting my money into two places. I'm putting my money into stocks and real estate. As I pointed out before, corporations are buying up houses. Now, when you really think about it, it actually kind of makes sense. And the reason why is because the vast majority of Generation Z and Generation Alpha, especially when you talk about these kids who've missed the last 2 years worth of school, these kids are never going to be able to buy a house. Now, I'm not saying all of them won't be able to buy a house, but what I'm saying is the vast majority of them are not going to be able to afford a house. The reason why is because the interest rates right now are very low, and as interest rates go low, the real estate values go higher in reaction, because what it is, it's based on supply and demand. If the interest rates are low, then that increases the demand for mortgages. As the demand increases for mortgages, the supply of houses and the supply of other things dries up. Now, most of these houses are owned by corporations and banks. Corporations are now buying up more than 4 out of every 10 houses created. Because back in July of 2020, they were actually saying that the corporations were buying, I believe it was either 2 or 3 out of every 10 houses. So here's the bottom line. Without me boring you, because you can look this shit up yourself, without me boring you, let me just cut to the bottom line. Because I hate talking, especially these goddamn crypto gurus who they're so focused on the technology and the fucking intricacies that they're talking and talking and talking like they're physics professors, but they can't explain shit, and then the crypto market crashes. We going to the moon! We going to Pluto! And then all of a sudden the crypto market crashes. Where the fuck are they? Where's all those guys? Here's a question. So I'm here with the W2. Where are all the... Let me see. Where's Donovan Sharp Crypto? Where are those guys that come on his channel and are talking crypto? I've been waiting to see them. Where are they? I've been waiting to see those guys. I watch every single episode just to hear what they got to say. Where are those guys? I haven't seen them in a while. Where are those guys? I know they're here somewhere, but I haven't heard nothing from them. Where the fuck are they? Oh, let's see. Where's Crypto? What was it? Crypto Doug and Crypto Nick? Where are they? Doug Polk Crypto.
New
Yeah,
Oceans.
Wait. The last video was 1 year ago. That's interesting. Where's wait, hold on. Where's all those crypto girls? Where's Crypto Nick? Where's that guy? In jail yet? Oh, 84 subscribers. Let's see. 12,000. No, well, the last video is 3 years. Where are these people? You know, because when I'm looking for my entertainment, it's what's going on? What happened was the government and the mass media hyped up cryptocurrency in order to trick fools into putting their money into it. Now that you've put your money into it and probably lost most of your money because you were so enticed by watching some crypto guru, or you were enticed by watching some asshole shouting about going to the moon on a safe trip, you put your money in there, you lost it. I was telling you, buy Microsoft, buy oil, buy banks, buy Google, buy whatever. Bottom line is, I'm gonna get rich fast. I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini. No, it didn't turn out that way. And you probably not only lost your money, but you probably owe back taxes. So, to make a long story short, my moves, it's like this. Understand something. I turned 40 this year. In 10 years, I'm retired because my pension says so. In 10 years from basically this year, 10 years, I turn 50. I want to have so much money saved that I get to sit back and relax on my pension, and I don't even have to think about working. You know what the really sad thing to me is? When I watch a lot of the people who've retired, because I have a lot of family and I have a lot of friends who've retired, and these are older people, obviously. And when they retire, they end up having to go back to work. And then you understand the reason why they end up having to go back to work is because most of them purchased their houses late. The reason why a mortgage is a 30-year fixed is ultimately because this system is built around the belief that you're going to marry in your 20s, that you're going to stay married, that you're going to age in that one house, you're going to end up paying off that house by the time you're 60, and by the time you're retired, that house will no longer be a liability, it will be an asset. But what are you people doing? First of all, you're not getting married at a regular rate. That's why Kevin Samuels is making so much money on his channel, because he's pointing out the fact that nobody wants to marry these women. These women are busy being whores on Instagram. Nobody wants them. The men, for the most part, are competing with the women for jobs. So the women are bragging about making more money, and they're going on their hot girl summers, and they're going on their big vacations all over the world. And meanwhile, they're alone because the men don't want them. And the thing about it is, you people are not marrying, you're not fucking. So because you're not having sex and you're not having children, what is the government doing? They're letting illegal immigrants in. And technically, they're not even illegal immigrants, because if the government says that they're legal, then they're legal. So they're replacing you. These people are going to come here. These people are going to have marriages. They're going to have stable families, and they're going to grow in this country. And I want to point out something. There used to be racism towards the Chinese. It was called the Chinese Exclusion Act. And the Chinese Exclusion Acts were basically designed so that you could bring Chinese men here to work slightly above slavery. But what they did was they wouldn't allow the women to come here. And the reason why was because they understood back then that if these women from Asia came here, they were going to set up families, and that they were going to... Right now, the Asian American population of America is less than 8%, right? It had been 5% for a long time, but right now it's still less than 8%. Had they not set up these racist laws, the Asian American population would be so large by now until whites would be not only a minority, but they would also be a minority completely when it comes to everything, when it comes to wealth. Because right now, white people aren't wealthy. White people are mostly in debt. Blacks are behind white people. Blacks have less wealth than whites. But for instance, in America, the richest group is Indian Americans. Had it not been for the Chinese Exclusion Acts, Chinese and Indians would be the richest two top groups in this country right now. They control more than 12 times, Asians in America, they control more than 12 times the wealth of whites. So at this point, because white liberal feminism has destroyed not only whites, but it's also destroyed blacks, and it's pretty much not hurting Hispanics so much, because one of the complaints that I've noticed on these Patriot XM channels is that they always complain that Hispanics move to this country and they don't take American values. They keep to themselves, and they keep, their Latino culture, right? Well, that's a good thing for them, because if they were taken after us, they'd be getting divorced, having illegitimate children, and they wouldn't be getting married, and they wouldn't be moving forward, and they wouldn't be saving wealth. So if you want other minority groups to be more like you, they're going to collapse too. And they don't want that, so they're not going to have that. And right now, as you see, the government, let's see, what's happening right now? Government immigration. Let's see what's going on. Since I'm so stupid and I'm wrong, let's see what's happening right now. Let's see. Low-income U.S. immigrants feared seeking benefits during pandemic, of course, because they were undocumented. Maryland Governor Hogan vetoes bills that would limit states' aid to federal immigration enforcement. Okay. Senate Democrats call an attorney general to restore, what is this? Immigration Judges Union. That's interesting. This is news that nobody's paying attention to because you're so busy watching fucking Dogecoin. New immigration bills open the door for scammers. Yeah, of course. Yeah. 2 immigration centers accused of abuse shut down by federal government. Uh-oh, I wonder what they're going to do with them. Are they going to send them back home, or are they going to let them in? My guess is they're going to let them in. Uh-oh. See, the thing about my news channel is that I bring up all the shit that you're not paying attention to, because you didn't know nothing about this story. You ain't never heard of no KCRA, Cockra. You ain't never heard of no Cockra. But, that's just what it is, and that's just what it is. I can't fight the future, and I can't fight stupidity, because stupidity is rampant and the future is coming. So the bottom line is, now to round off my 30 minutes, all I'm going to say is, if you're making moves right now, and I mean real investments, not this cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme shit, what you need to be doing is you need to buy a house. I don't give a shit how big it is. I don't care how small it is. Me personally, I like to buy small houses because they're cheaper. And it's easier to get into them. It's easier to pay for them. It's easier to pay them off. But you need to get yourself a house. You need to pay that house off. You need to continue to pay the taxes. You need to have children and leave those houses to your children after your children get jobs and are able to keep up with the maintenance and keep up with the taxes and the utility bills on that house. If your children grow up not having to pay rent and mortgages, that's the only way to build wealth.